You really want to know the keys to having success in the military? Honestly, all that revolves around having connections. If you connected to the right people, I promise you, having a successful military career is easy. Welcome back to Military Bred. I'm your host, Patrick Montgomery. And if this is your first time tuning in to the channel, please like and subscribe. Click the bell notification to be notified whenever new content is being uploaded. Welcome. Welcome everyone once again. I'm sipping on sipping on a little tequila tonight. It's like 3:24 in the morning, but we're gonna get at it because I feel like y'all need these gems, and I feel like I got to get them off my chest before I go to sleep. But the connections that you need in the military, and I know it's clear that a lot of people can make it on their own, but having these connections, having these people in your back pocket is going to set you up. I promise you. But let's get into it. So these people are so pivotal because in each point of your military career, you are going to need them. But to have them at each station that you go through, I promise you, is going to set you amongst the rest. But number one, the first person I feel like you need is S1 or I think it's 42 Alpha. Now, a 42 Alpha is mainly your person that's going to a lot of times be at your battalion. They're pretty much going to cover your finance and also leave if they have to ever leave outside the company to get approved. And so having these people in place, so as far as your finances, and the reason because of that is because a lot of times you will have certain things that don't add up on your LES. And it may not make sense as far as like, why are you getting certain debt took out? Or maybe it says single and you're married type deal. But having this S1 person in place is going to save you a lot of trouble because you can easily go to them and they'll get everything straightened out for you. And if you don't have this person in place, you're going to have to schedule an appointment. Now you got to wait, and it's a bunch of other stuff. But also too, like I said, with having them to approve your leave, certain leave can't be approved by your company. So it's going to have to get pushed up to either battalion or it's going to have to go to the brigade to get signed off. But having this person in place is going to set you up because they can honestly just walk it right in and get it signed off for you to kind of get you ahead of the ball. Because I understand, tickets and whatnot. And a lot of us like to just take trips last minute, but that's besides the point. You need an S1 personnel on your team. Number two, your next person I say you need is supply. Because I feel like when you go to when you go to the field, when you go to NTC, when you get deployed, it's going to be a bunch of stuff that you lose. It's going to be a bunch of stuff that you have no idea where it is, and you may not have lost it in those places. But having somebody in supply, if you ever need some extra stuff, and a lot of times they'll even look out for you before this even comes into play. But if you need that extra stuff, especially when it comes down to ETS and PCS, because I feel like a lot of times when it comes down to it, a lot of people end up having to pay a crazy amount of money. I don't know why when it comes down to military stuff that they rate the price up like high, like a jacket could be like $400 or $500, and you looking at it like, dude, this ain't even that serious. But that's how the military do. But having this supply person in place is going to definitely put you ahead of the game because it's not going to interfere with you leaving as far as your PCS, and it's not going to interfere with you getting out because you'll be able to kind of talk to them and they'll kind of help you to navigate and help and get out that situation quick. You need a supply person, or I think they're called like 91 or 92 Yankee. The next person I feel like you need is somebody in the orderly room. I have everybody in the orderly room. I'm not even going to cap with you, because the people in the orderly room, they're going to keep you on top of everything that's going on in your company. A lot of times they know about a bunch of stuff before it even happens. Like legit, whether it is different outings that y'all doing as a company, or like different trainings that's coming up, you can prepare ahead of time. And also, leave that can be approved by your company commander or whatever. They're going to help you go ahead and get that knocked out. They'll walk it to your commander if they got to, but they'll be able to get that done in a timely manner, and you don't have to wait and play the field hoping that, you know, it is going to be approved or it's not going to be approved, because you'll know right off the back. And whatever you need to do to get that thing approved, they're going to let you know. But also, something else you need to know: if you got orderly room personnel on your team, make sure you keep an ear out for a UPL. I'm not going to get into detail what a UPL does. You look that up. But if you get a UPL on your team, all I'm going to say is you winning. You are winning. The next on that list would be, the next on that list will honestly probably be cooks. A lot of people sleep on the cooks. And I got to say, man, they one of the people in the military that got it harder than anybody else. Like, especially in the field, like I seen these people work. Like they up when everybody sleep. It's crazy. Even the first person up in the morning, like they really go through a lot. But you really got to pay attention to these people. Like, keep them on your team, because if you go to the field, or you got a bunch of stuff going on or whatever, and you want to make sure that you got a hot meal, or just have a meal in place to where you can eat. Because like even at NTC, if you don't have a cook under your belt or a 92 golf, you in for it, because you finna be eating an MRE. And a lot of times while you in NTC, you got a lot going on. A lot of times you're not gonna be able to make those hours of a chow or whatever. So having that person on hand definitely gonna save you a bunch of stomach ache, because MREs, I ain't even gonna lie with you, man. MREs are different. They are different. They'll help you through a time. And you know, they do come in handy. But at the same time, if you can get a hot meal, you want to get that hot meal. The next person I'll probably say would be, you need a mechanic. You need a mechanic, period. You need a mechanic. And this is why. When it comes down to military equipment, is always breaking down. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's always going to break down, period. But when it comes down to it, if you got somebody in maintenance, you know, that's on your team, it's going to set you up, because they're going to make sure that your stuff gets situated first, especially if you have priority and you know you need it in a good time frame. Also, with maintenance people, or how to call them, mechanics, with QA/QC is hard to come out. I feel like anybody that you meet in the military, they'll tell you, like, when it's time to get a QA/QC done, it seems like all the mechanics go ghost. Like, nobody wants to stop what they're doing just to go inspect the vehicle that they inspected last week. If it was good last week, chances are it may be good this week. But a lot of them don't want to stop what they're doing to check it out. So with that being said, like, by having this person on your team, it already sets you up, because, you know, they're going to do whatever they need to do to get you situated. And also a slash to that, like, you need to have a clerk on hand, because a clerk going to set you up, because when you need your dispatch done, and a lot of times you may have a deadline of when you need it done by, because you got a last minute mission coming up and you going up for a dispatch, and sometimes that line is stupid. They'll move, like for me, well, I ain't gonna say for nobody else, for me, I was so cool with my clerks, like they already knew when I came in, they pushed me to the front of the line, they making sure all my stuff is situated, that I'm ready to go. Like, I think I was one of the quickest and each company that I went in getting a dispatch done, because I was so cool with the clerks. I knew I need to make friends with the clerks, because it was going to set me up for the future. I'm not even going to hold you. But with that being said, the next, a fueler. You are going to need a fueler. You're going to need a fueler. Like, people sleep on fuelers. A lot of people say fuelers don't get stuff done, but fuelers really get stuff done. Especially like you finna go to the field or whatever, and you need fuel in your vehicle like ASAP. It's gonna come handy because they're gonna prioritize you and they're gonna make you first. And a lot of times so you won't have to wait in a crazy line, especially if all of us going to the field together. More than likely, it's a line around a motor pool. They're gonna make sure your stuff get done in priority. And even when you go to the field, you got these pot bellies, you got these fuel cans, whatever. If you one of them people that's on that shift to, you know, keep the pot belly running with fuel, like especially when it be cold during the year, like man, it get crazy. And when that pot belly go out, man, people gonna be looking at you crazy because they were like, yo, you was in charge of that. But all of a sudden, you know, it's cold in here. So we know it's you. But if you got a fuel on hand, like they're gonna look out for you as much as possible. And you're gonna want that because man, it get cold and I ain't even gonna tell you, especially in the field. Kansas, oh yeah, man, for Raleigh is wild. Like, man, you wake up at the store to tech, man, it get crazy. It gets so crazy, like, man, I got flashbacks now, man. Damn. But aside from that, the next person on the list, the final last person. You got this person on your team, oh, you eating. You need somebody high ranked, somebody with a voice, somebody that's going to get stuff done. And I'm going to tell you why. Like, I love going to the gym. As you can see, I love going to the gym though. And I used to see this dude in the gym all the time, and I'll just be like, you know, just cutting it up with him. Like, you know, just chopping it up, talking or whatever, you know, asking all kind of questions and so forth, you know, asking what workout he's doing and so forth. And little did I know, one day I was in my brigade and, you know, just, you know, moving around looking for certain individuals to get paperwork signed off. And I seen him in there. And I saw he had his uniform. I was like, yo, I didn't know you was no sergeant major. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah, I'm a sergeant major or whatever. I've been a sergeant major here for X amount of time. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, just chopping it up as usual. And he was like, yo, when the last time? I ain't seen you in the gym, so it's been a minute since you been in there. I was like, nah, you know, I've been going there at a different time, but I still been in there. He was like, yeah, that's what's up, that's what's up. He was like, well, I guess I'll catch you in the gym sometime, man. But hey, you in my brigade, right? And I was like, yeah, of course, Sergeant Major. He was like, well, man, if you need anything, I got you. I got you. And little, honestly, I kid you not, little did I know how that relationship was going to save me from getting kicked out of the military. Like, I was this close to getting kicked out of the military, but having him on my team changed the game. Like, legit, you need somebody like that on your team. Like, it's really going to save you in the long run, because when everything hit the fan, man, stuff get crazy. Stuff really do get crazy. But I'll discuss that at another time. Like, but one thing that'll forever stay in my mind is a book that I'm reading on. I think it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And one thing that kind of stood out to me the most was that, like, make people feel important and be sincere about the things that you talk to them about, because little do you know how big of an impact that it leaves in your mind. And that kind of stays with me now, because I'm just like, even every relationship that I go into, I make sure that I'm being sincere as possible, that I'm being as caring as possible, because I never know when I'm gonna need these people again. I never know how the chips are gonna fall, and I may need to fall back on them for them to help me. But I feel like a lot of people in the military, sometimes they get caught up in their own mind, and they just be like, oh, all I can see is me, you know, I'm just focusing on my career, doing what I gotta do, you know, rank up or whatever. You can get far by yourself, 100%. You can get far by yourself, but with a team, it's gonna change the game. It's gonna level the playing field, because it's a bunch of levels that you got to go through. It's a bunch of obstacles that you're going to go through. But having the right people on your team is definitely going to set you up. And if you got the right people on your team, you're going to win. You are going to win. I ain't even going to hold you. Like, you going to win. A lot of people going to figure out, how do you get to the point of where you are? And it seems like it was so easy. No, it's because you took the right people on your team. Like, you need these people on your team. You need these people on your team. What's going on, Juco? But I ain't sit here to try to hold you, forever, for a long time. I know it's past my bedtime. I'm sort of kind of like a night owl, but I just had to get that off my chest, because I'm like, yo, if a lot of people knew the people that they need to be befriending, instead of like, just skating through the military, figuring out as you go. But knowing these people, having these people on your team can definitely change your dynamics of your future. It will get you to where you're trying to be, especially if you're looking for 20 years in the military. Build these connections, make these friendships. No, it's not using, but make sure that you are adding something to them. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's something that you have to offer, don't ever come to the table without anything. Make what you have transactional. Be of service first. And then whenever you need them again, they'll be there. But man, I'm starting to get tired, but with that being said, thank you for tuning in tonight for Military Bred. Once again, I'm your host, the one and only Patrick McGurman, aka Mont. Please like and subscribe, click the bell notification to be notified whenever new content is being uploaded. But till next time, Military Bred. Let's see.